congratulations on the release of Collateral Beauty. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Edward, you play Whit, who is the business partner, and there's a real depth of friendship between he and Howard as well. And Jacob, you play Time.
Yeah.
And while both characters or characterizations are quite different, there's commonalities between them in that they're both quite forceful and decisive. But there's also quite a softer elements to them. And that kind of light and shade plays and it permeates through the whole film. Is that something that attracted you guys to the film?
Yeah, I think that's very well said. I thought that the complexity, it's complex in a very humanistic way, not to put, but there's a lot of compassion, I think, in this film for each character is stuck in his own way. The characters are struggling, but you catch glimpses of each of them that, you know, whether my character taking care of his mother in Queens or obviously upset about his daughter, and you know, so he's sharp and he's a little bit insouciant and he's doing something a little bit crazy to try to rescue his firm, but you see the human. I think the same, you know, inside Will's grief, you see his humor. You know, I mean, and when you read the script, you just felt like these are real people.
Yeah, it makes you fall in love with the characters even more, and you're not crying the whole time. You know, you can laugh a little, and it's a lot of life in it as well.
They're beautiful and they're flawed all at the same time, like we all are.
There's a lot of, when I read it, I thought about, people have talked about It's a Wonderful Life and things like that because of the slightly magical or almost screwball elements of it. But it put me in mind of like films like Terms of Endearment, which is a classic, I think, of you know, in terms of being a film that's about some, you know, a character has cancer and is dying in Terms of Endearment, which you kind of tend to forget because you laugh so much in that film. That it was such a humane, funny film about the deep themes in life, and I those are very tricky to pull off. It's tricky to hit the balance. You said light and shade. I think of lightness of tone, lightness of humor, while talking about the most serious things in life, and I thought Alan Loeb really hit the sweet spot in terms of that balance.
Absolutely. There's a playfulness and a poignancy in the pain of it all, almost.
Yeah.
And when you saw the character of Whit, did you feel like you knew him straight away, or was it something that you evolved into as you were on
No,
set?
yeah, I live in New York, and there's guys like Whit all around. I know a lot of them, the downtown hip, what I would call the creative executive, you know, the executives, the corporate people in the creative world. I have friends who have been working in that world, and Leah, the costume designer, and it took us about 10 minutes to pick the shoes, the vests, the hair that pushes forward, you know, it's just like these guys are all over in New York.
You could see him straight away. Yeah. And Jacob, I loved your depiction of time, because I suppose when we think of time, often it's, you know, old man time, that very slow, grandfatherly type of energy that we get. But your time is full of vitality, and he's bright and he's moving and he's on a skateboard. Yeah. Is that something that you instinctively thought of when you thought about the character first, or was it again something that you evolved into when it was on set? So I can't see you as grandfather.
Yeah, I think with this one, I didn't have it all figured out before we got to set. I think it was watching, you know, everyone, you know, talk about the script, talk about scenes and how things should be done, literally, you know, kind of almost going it by day, you know, with it, and really trying to figure it out. I think with time, I try to, you know, time is sort of aggressive in a way, where time, you know, time keeps going. There's no red lights or yellow lights, you know, it's green the whole time. And I think that's why Rafi was so kind of harsh in some of those scenes, where he just, like, what are you doing? You know, you're building these dominoes, and, you know, you just keep pressing him to really sort of deal with this moment so he can keep moving on in life. And I think, you know, I just really tried to just keep learning every day on set. You know, things were changing, these lines were changing, and just tried to keep up.